What's a Jizockk?
Sometimes I wonder who the fuck I am.
My name is Wally West. I'm an up-and-coming music producer out of South Florida. A new single that's out right now, Mac Miller featuring Lil Wayne off of Mac Miller's new mixtape entitled Macadelic. This is the second track that me and Mac have done that's been pretty good records. So people see the growth as far as the music's concerned, and on my part as well as his part. And you know, it's just a big deal. Received a call from somebody from Mac's camp asking me about the record, to hold the record down for them, and that was one of the records that they picked. I knew that there was going to be a big feature. I didn't know who, so they didn't tell me as of yet. I actually found out the second of release who it was that was unfeatured on the record. ID Labs actually is the one who mixed the record, and they actually laid a bass line under it and a little another little sample on top of what I already had to complement the record and Mac really nicely. Sometimes I make a track with a person in mind, but that particular one I just didn't. I had an idea in mind, and I was playing with some stuff, and that's pretty much how it came about. You know, just working. Didn't really think of anybody particular. Usually when I make music, I try to make it for me. So if I was making it for anybody, it would be for me first off. That's pretty much it.
What am I doing here? I wonder what am I doing here?
Alright, I'm about to break down how I made you the record. The number one question that I've been getting lately about how I made the record was, did I start with that sample first? And the sample I'm talking about is this one right here. This kind of African tribal type sample. And that's actually not what I did first. I actually started with these chords, which I'm going to play for you right now. Started with that. I liked how it sounded, and then I added basic little clap just to get a vibe going. Then I got this little low snare type deal that I like to use often, which is this right here. I started to kind of get a vibe for it, and then I added another snare to just kind of round out that whole situation. Then I added some hi-hats. You know, gave him a little roll, you know, get the vibe, smooth, mellow vibe going, and then I added these bells here, which then brought it around completely. This has to be my favorite part of the song, these bells, to be completely honest. They have a different feel, and then I kind of EQ'd them just a little bit, and I added a little bit of reverb to them to give them a little bit more room, so rather than it just sounding like it's in a box. And that's, like I said before, that has to be my favorite part. And then, you know, you have your 808s, which the kick and the 808 were then layered by the bass that they did over at ID Labs. Now, after all is said and done, I added a transition to just kind of bring it on to the next part of the record, which you'll hear in a few seconds, right? And it also added to the mellow vibe. And then what I typically like to do when I do a record is I'll start on a record, and then I'll wait a day or two to come back and listen to it and see if I feel the same way about it. And this was a record without the sample, and I liked it, but it felt like it was missing something. So I started digging. I was in the studio for maybe an hour, literally looking for something that I could put in, because usually you build around a sample, you don't add it after. But in this situation, or this particular situation, it worked out the way that I wanted it to. And I found this little sample, and it was the icing on the cake, or as like we like to call it, the ear candy for the record. And that's the question. Mac Miller featuring Lil Wayne, Macadelic.
Sitting in my Bentley, thinking about these hoes. All I do is kill them. I kill them like Nicole Simpson flag.
I mean, it feels good. It feels good. You know, it's a high that you chase for your entire career. You know, I feel like, you know, the second you hit a certain situation or a certain level as far as your career and your growth is concerned, that you just chase that feeling over and over. Just you want that feeling over and over and over. You know what I mean? I'm working on a beat compilation EP entitled Hear No Evil. That's going to be put up for sale for 99 cents. It's going to be 8 records that they can lease for promotional uses such as their mixtapes and whatnot. Just like you would lease a regular record. It's just a way for me to kind of build a relationship with my followers as far as artists are concerned, because a lot of artists have hit me up more of on I respect what you do and I like what you do, to kind of build a relationship with them and continue to grow. So I plan to continuously do that, but this is the first one that I'm doing like this. I'm calling it a bulk beat lease. It's just something I just came up with. So 99 cents, you get 8 records. You can use them for free. You can't sell them. If you're gonna try to sell your record, you gotta call me first. Make sure you guys go check out Macadelic, support the whole Most Dope team, as well as check out my beat compilation EP, Hear No Evil. Links available in the description. Also, follow me on Twitter at Thewallywest for the latest updates. Behind the Beats featuring Wally West, brought to you by A Jizockk.